Alright, what's up? So this is usually I've been making these videos for YouTube early in the morning. It's late at night. I think it's like 10 p.m. My wife's on the couch with me. We're watching some Olympics, China Olympic stuff. But let's start off with I left off with it was a major milestone with me for me starting 4 days ago when I started making content on YouTube. Uh, instead of trying to instead of trying to encourage people on Facebook to contact me, friends, family. There's a lot of people have known me. Hundreds of people have known me over the years. I got over 4,000 friends on Facebook. There's thousands of them that have never met me, but I that was the way that I tried to spread the word. Just add as many friends. I just add whoever comes up with your possible friends. I just start adding them. I'd sit down and I'd do like 100 of them until I just got tired, and I did that for several. You can only have 5,000, so I did that for a while, and I basically given up on that 4 days ago. There's no point. Facebook is not a unless you're a celebrity or a major public figure that has a Facebook. You're not getting millions of views, and it's not something easily monetized either. I'm not even sure if you can monetize your content on Facebook, so people don't do it. It's like not a thing. When you if you want to look at someone's videos on Facebook, like you gotta scroll down their whole freaking page, and it's not an easy way to post. It's not. It's just not set up for content creators of videos. But I spent the majority of my time on Facebook since all my friends and family and stuff were on there. I spent the majority of my time trying to communicate them through text, stuff that you'd have to read. Either talking about things that I had, fears that I had, dreams that I had, threats that could possibly befall the human race in the future, and then some thoughts of God. So I've been talking about this stuff from years, but this stuff was coming from me, but it was coming from something higher than me that I've spent since 2010 trying to understand what this stuff meant, and trying to understand who I am, which I basically completed that. And 4 days ago marks the point where I'm not going to recognize or worry about or have any concern about being acknowledged or communicated with or recognized by the people that knew me. I'm not looking for any acceptance of theirs, or you know argument or support or other. So that's what I mean by the close of that. A major milestone for me personally, because I've been looking for that and wanting that for years, for well over a decade. I've been wanting someone to communicate first these visions that I had. What do they mean? Second, some things about as becoming an adult, raising a church school. Once you become an adult, you have some serious philosophical, existential issues with that religion. If you want to hold on to it as a belief structure, you want to talk about some serious things. And done 11 years, 8 months of service, come back being retired from the military, and I wanted to have some serious conversations with some older people or people that were parents of my friends that I grew up with, as an adult. None of those people wanted to participate in having an adult talk about religion. So I had to do things like travel to Jerusalem myself. No one was interested in talking about what I did in the Navy. Maybe that's frowned upon. Serving your country. Everyone in society does like to say they support the vets, but from what I've seen from civilians, is they say one thing and they do the next. They like to have their cake and they like to eat it too. They like to say they love the vets, but they show severe prejudice and discrimination against any veteran of any military service. That's what I've seen. And since I've spent a lot of time in my life talking to people in various communities, online communities, maybe people don't even know I'm a vet. The shit that I've heard people say about veterans is so fucking bad. And I'm telling you, I've been discriminated against. I've shown severe prejudice against when someone knows that I'm a veteran. Or I happen to show my military identification card for my birth date or whatever. I mean, it's federal identification card. You can't fucking refuse it. Went to an Irish pub one time, they refused it. I immediately left the pub, called fucking 911. They got me in touch with the cops, talked to the cops. They're like, they can't refuse your identification card. I was like, well, I'm at this pub. You're gonna call them, find out what the fuck's going on. Oh man. But I'm not worried about that stuff anymore. I'm married. One thing is, as a man, one thing I've wanted since about the age of 23 years old. Up through 39, 16 years. I've done a lot of things. Everything I wanted in life. Multiple vehicles, houses, everything. All I wanted was a wife for years, right? That's all I wanted. I've got that now. I spent a lot of years, lonely in my life, and I've been very happy. For me personally, right, during this lifetime, like I've been very, very content and happy with my life for these last 2 years. Ever since the day I flew into China, I knew my life would be good, like just my life, very selfish. I knew that my life, the rest of my life would be good. But as far as the things I want to work on for the rest of my life, I've not even been able to make 1 foot down that path really with anyone else's help. Which I knew I needed since 2010. Would have been summertime or maybe no springtime 2010 going into summer. I would have to look at the documents for when I was medevac. That's when I had the second vision. But yeah, I've been looking for someone to help me sort through this stuff, talk about it, talk about some things. I had to go travel to Jerusalem by myself, get a pay under like $200 for true translation, best translation you could from Hebrew to English. Read several things. Some very interesting things it says in that book of Exodus. Just telling you right now. I mean that thing about the baker and the crow. And yeah, this guy guesses right that the king's gonna have executed one guy and the other, and it's 50-50 chance, right? And he gets it right, and then he gains favor with the fucking person in charge of Egypt. And then it mentions like several verses later that they store all of Egypt's grain, like all of their food supply, for the next 7 years in one location. Well, what do they obviously do then if someone goes in there and they want to present themselves as a religious leader of a cult that's now the Vatican, and they gain favor with, and then they advise them to store all their food in one location. Does grain burn easily if it's dried out? They burn all their grain. Everybody fucking starved to death in Egypt. That's how they wiped out that civilization. Millennia later, Egypt, the whole entire continent's a fucking desert. Just unbelievable. Just fucking unbelievable. And then I've discussed in previous videos some other key things that I discovered in a very short trip in Jerusalem, 17 days. But for me, it felt like I was seeing it again with my own eyes in a new lifetime. That's how it felt for me. I mean, every day in the morning when I woke up, I knew exactly where I needed to walk to next or take the next tour. I just was thinking, I need to go see this place again right now, right? That's how I was thinking that whole time. And a lot of people, I would have been on a lot of video cameras, surveillance, and a lot of people would have seen me walking around in Jerusalem because I walked at least 50 miles barefoot or wearing a pair of Vibrams, those gloves for your feet, while I was in Jerusalem. A lot of people would have seen me while I was in Jerusalem over those 17 days. I think it was in May of 2015, I believe is when I went. I went there. I returned there. Just I had to go under. I had to go in disguise. I guess I don't know. I had to go there to see it. I went there initially, waking up the next morning, no plans whatsoever, intentions to go. I had a dream. I woke up. I had a dream I was married there. So I was in the process. I really wanted a wife for years. I had a dream I was married in Jerusalem, I just immediately packed up my bags that morning and went to the airport. So that's what pulled the trigger on me actually going there. So obviously that dream was given me for a reason by oh some someone or something, right? It's hard to define.